All right, we're rolling.
Look, dressed in fatigues, I rep the East with my trustees.
This will be a short episode due to some personal issues, but I still wanted to give something out today. To start things off, I wanted to talk about, I guess we can start out with Drake. I posed a question on whether or not Drake will still be on top at the end of this decade, the way he was this past decade. So let's dive into Drake. Drake obviously has plenty of hits. He has plenty of Grammy nominations. He has plenty of dope features. I mean, the collabs, you know, the OVO clothing line. I mean, he has everything, and he's the most popular rapper. He's probably the most popular rapper that there ever has been, honestly. I mean, as far as having a global impact musically, like, he definitely has that. And I think that he can pull in a array of audiences that can, you know, enjoy his music. I will say that as far as, like, rapper-wise, I don't know if you could you say he's the best rapper alive? I'm not for sure. I think he could go down as the best hit maker alive as far as hits. As far as making a good song, I think that he probably is the best to ever do it as far as that. His influence is definitely going to be followed in these next few generations here and there. So, you know, that's something to think about. It's interesting because the three-headed monster is Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake, and everyone else kind of falls into, you know, their own little category, whether they're, you know, the GOAT status, the already established artists such as like Wayne and Eminem and Jay-Z, and there's like a second tier where there's Future, there's Big Sean, there's Young Thug, you know, there's that second tier. So what would it take for Drake to be dethroned as the most popular rapper or hip hop artist or artist in general? But I think it would take someone who can almost take his formula and maybe, if it's even possible, to do it better than he did, or how he does it. It would take, I think it would have to be someone younger that just continues to make that stride and make that impact in the hip hop world. Kind of like how Drake did when he came up, you know. If you come up, because he came up under Wayne. So when you come up under Wayne, you have, I mean, especially Wayne at that time, that 2007 to 2010 Wayne, like, to be able to be under his wing and be able to follow him and go from there, I mean, it's a pretty good start. And not to mention, like, his first album doing great numbers and everything, and he just didn't miss ever since. So I think it would take an artist that can have a good, you know, mentor in his ear, someone who can follow, even if it's like someone that Drake has, you know, under his arm somewhere that he could put on or do something with. So I think it's interesting. I mean, Drake will be about 40 years old by the time 2030 comes. So I don't see him still being at the level that he's at right now. Because at this point, he can say blah, 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 I'm Drake for 5 minutes on an instrumental, and it's going to hit. It's not going to matter. It's going to hit. So it's interesting to think about that. I do think that Kendrick is the best rapper right now as far as like lyrics and shit. I think he's probably the best. His track record speaks for itself. I mean, he don't miss either, and he's talking about something. You know, there's rappers who can have a hard beat and have nothing to talk about lyrically, and there's rappers who can, you know, talk that shit but don't have the right production, the right beat. So it's weird. but I think Kendrick does a good job at combining both in a way, because he has good production and he has great lyrics, so that makes it pretty awesome. And he's like, excuse me, he's also socially aware with his music, so it makes it even better, because you're not just listening to, oh, I'm gonna fuck this bitch tonight, you know, I got 100 grand on a chain, blah 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 blah, I'm doing my thing, blah 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 blah, and that just rhyme, blah 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 blah, and I need a dime, blah, you know what I'm saying? I can be a rapper too. But anyways, back on topic. As far as others in the running of taking the throne, I think that J. Cole's up there. He's like my third place guy. He's just, I hate to say it, I hate to be cliche, but he's pretty boring. Like, well, maybe not even his lyrics so much as like his team, like his production team. The beats aren't that good, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, you know. I don't think his production is that good. The lyrics are cool. You know, the concept of everything is nice. But as far as him and his overall thing, it's just not hitting it as hard as Drake or as hard as Kendrick. Because Drake can do both. He can have dope lyrics with a dope beat. And it could be no features and he's still going to hit. So that's important. I also want to give a shout out to Uzi, to Cardi, to Trippie Redd, to, you know, there's plenty of good artists out there that are really good, that, you know, I think one day they'll be at the top. Cardi, Uzi, Trippie, I could see them being a three-headed monster for the new school. So that's that. I also wanted to say that music is definitely different nowadays from where it was back in the day, because like the 2000s hip hop, the 2000s R&B, the 2000s pop used to hit, like they wouldn't miss. Like it was, every song you heard on the radio was a bop. It was crazy. Nowadays it's like you can just, as long as you have the money for it or whatever, if you have something controversial to say, you're gonna be charting on the Billboard or something. I mean, look at 6ix9ine. I didn't get to dive into 6ix9ine, but it's crazy how he came back and he's more successful now than he was before he got locked up. That's crazy to think about. Like, he's literally proving everyone wrong. And it feels weird to say that because, like, obviously he snitched and everything, but we didn't care, I guess. I mean, it's weird. As soon as he got back, he's getting 2 million viewers on this Instagram Live. I mean, that's insane. I mean, obviously, you know, I feel like everyone's nosy in their own capacity, but 2 million viewers, and then to follow that up with a nice track with Goober, and then follow that up with a #1 hit on a Billboard with no radio play. I mean, that's pretty impressive, you know. I'm not the biggest 6ix9ine fan, but you gotta give your hats off to him. That's definitely impressive. But anyways, Paul Pierce saying that the Celtics were the biggest threat to the championship is blasphemous. Blasphemous. And I have so much respect for Jason Tatum. Shout out Joe, because he knows how much I like Jason Tatum. Like, I take him over Luka. I take him over Ben Simmons. Like, I think Jason Tatum is awesome. Jaylen Brown, like, that's like my NBA comparison, you know, even though I'm better than him. But they have a good team. They're just young. I feel like they're like a decent big man away from being in that contention, I feel like. And Paul Pierce also says that they have the best starting five, which you can argue that, obviously, but I feel like when it comes down to the powerhouses, it's the Clippers and the Lakers. There's no other team. It's the Clippers and the Lakers. I don't know who that is. Anyways, it's going to mess up my video. But I think that it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting to see how everything goes as far as the bubble and everything. But I think basketball will be right back to where it was. So that's that. The last topic I wanted to dive into today is the controversy over The Last of Us 2, or Chapter 2, or Part 2, whatever they want to call it. So obviously, The Last of Us, the first one, was pretty good, almost flawless as a game. That they have, this new antagonist, Abby, come through and kill Joel within the first hour of the game. I think it's bullshit. Just because, like, if you play the first game and you know the story, and like obviously that game came out in 2013, so as fans of the game, you just kind of wanted more, like you just wanted more. And maybe I would have been fine with Joe passing. It was expected of him dying in some way because of the events that took place in the first game. But I do think that he deserved more. Getting brutally killed by a 600-pound all muscle girl in a zombie apocalypse with a golf club. Like, come on, man. Did he deserve? He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. Like, come on, man. Come on, Naughty Dog. Like, what was y'all playing? Like, I just think it was weird, and it might turn out to still be a good game. I mean, obviously, like, websites and blogs like IGN and everything else have called it a masterpiece. And gameplay-wise, I mean, it looks like that it is pretty dope. I won't lie, it looks pretty dope. But games like that are more like story-driven, I feel like. So to have the main character die in such a way, or in such a fashion that he did, it kind of makes you it's like a slap in the face. So that's weird. Anyways, we're gonna cut this one short this time. I want to thank everyone for listening and watching. I'm doing both at the same time, so I'm gonna upload this to all podcast platforms as always, and I'm gonna upload to YouTube Sunday at the normal time. So that'll be that. But before I go, I also want to give a shout out to everyone that subscribes, everyone that listens to these and watches these, and I want to give a shout out to everyone who's dealing with anything, anyone who is looking for inspiration. I mean, anything. I hope the best for everyone that's watching this video. So thank you so much. Also, before I get off, sorry, I'm going to get back into the pull-up series. I just had to get a place for people to be at, I guess. But I'm going to be in contact with everyone as far as local people. So, peace.